Hello, hello, our crafty friends. We are having a little bit of difficulty loading up here on Facebook, so I will see if I can get that going. But in the meantime, what am I doing here? There we go. There is our friend Darlene.
Hello, everyone.
Hope you are all doing well. Darlene, I'm just going to let you take it away.
Okay. This,
And maybe just give us a couple minutes to start slow. And I will do my best to get this up on Facebook.
yeah. So keep me in check because I can't find us on Facebook. So in case I
Yep.
get off screen. But welcome, everyone. I am so excited to be here for a Learning Live. It is the last Tuesday of the month, and you have me, Darlene, and I am going to continue our month long of using sketches. So this is a sketch I picked out. It's very simple, but I will show you different ways on how I use sketches like similar to this. And if you hold on towards till the end, I have lots of samples to show you, including some layouts. But let's start off with how I tackle a sketch like that. So all month long, you saw Sherry, Chris, and Alexis tackle different sketches. And looking at a sketch, mine in particular has no measurements. I am a lover of 16th of an inch, but for something like this, I have held off and just made calculations easy. So here is an example of a very quick and easy card using that sketch. So we will do one together. I will show you different other samples and variations of this cards, and then we'll bling one up. So adding some, foil or some enamel dots or, some bling, because who doesn't love bling? So let's look at this sketch. And the way I look at it is that I am an A2 size card. So I automatically make my cards 5.5 by 4.25. Okay. If you are making a bigger size card, just make your measurements a little bit bigger. So this is my base, which is 5.5 by 4.25. Now, looking at the next piece, so that's my blue. So let's put this here. The next one is this red piece of paper. So I look at the blue part and I picture what this red measurement is. So I know that it's a little bit smaller than half of the blue, but not quite a third of the blue. So I just pick a random number. So I know that this width here is 4.25. So I need a height for this. So let's put 4.425 by 2 inches. I felt was too small. I'm just estimating. There's no right or wrong. You can play with it. But I am going to pick 2.25. And how I got that number is that I took 5.5 divided by 2. So half of this base is 2.75. So I just put it a little bit smaller. Okay, there's no right or wrong, but that's how I just calculated that. This strip over here, this craft color strip here, it is really small. So I started off by just putting it as 1/2 inch by about 3.75 because it's smaller than 4.25. If I did 4, it doesn't give me much of a gap on the ends here. So I just brought it down even further. Now, so that was 0.5. You can go thinner, and I will show you how to use some of the stickers to do this little strip. Now we have these two pieces. The first is the green one, and the green one is not a full 4.25. Sorry, 5.5 because it's the length. So I just pictured it as 4.5. That was my starting point. And then if I wanted it short, I can go shorter. Or if I had leftover paper, I made it, I just put whatever there. So you'll see some of my samples where this piece is actually smaller because I was just using leftover. It is just a little element for the card. there doesn't have to be the exact number. So I started at 4.5, and I did it as wide as 1.5. Okay, so I was picturing that if this is 2.25, this size is a little bit smaller than here. So I started with 1.5, and then give or take, depending on my paper size. As you can see, this card here is a little bit smaller. I was using extra pieces, and this is a little bit bigger. Now, for this piece here is where you can go two ways. You can use this as a cut apart, which I did in this sample here. I just took a cut apart and represented this orange piece as that. Or I use this orange piece as my decorative element. So whether it's a die cut or it's a sticker or it's a sentiment, that's what I use this orange piece. You could always use a circle die cut and put a sticker or a saying on it, or you can use the rectangle and do the same thing. But I found that it was a perfect embellishment spot. So I treated this orange as my embellishment spot. So either a sentiment or the embellishment. Okay, so let's start by looking at the paper.
Darlene, before you go on,
yes,
we are now up and running on Facebook. So if maybe you could just hold that sketch a little bit closer to the camera, and just so people can, those who are joining us on Facebook can catch up. I do apologize, folks, but we are now running on both YouTube and Facebook, and we are ready to create.
Thank you, Darlene. Go. No problem. So this is a sketch, so just a quick overview, but you'll see me coming back to it a lot. A2 size measurement, and then I gauged on what the sizing would look like. So this red piece, I knew it was a little bit smaller than half of the card base. So I took a number like 2.25. And then this orange piece is my embellishment or sentiments. This craft piece here is a good for extra pieces of leftover paper. You know, those barcode strips usually have a pattern. Those are perfect for that spot, or even sticker sheets. Sometimes we have these sticker sheets with all these borders. That's a great way to add that trimming in that spot there, which you'll see me do a little bit. And then this green piece over here, whoops, I forgot my, here you go. That makes more sense now. I just gauged that if this panel here is 5.5 in height, then I wanted this a little bit smaller. So I did 4.5. And then wide, I did 1.5. So let me put my sketch somewhere where you could see it. And this is a collection I am using, Birthday Sparkle. So with this Birthday Sparkle, it's the girl line. You saw Chris use the masculine line. I never throw this sheet out just because these icons here are good fussy cutting elements that you could use for cards and stuff like that. I always keep this. Even these strips you can use on cards as well. They're great use out of it if you're just looking for something extra and you don't want to, cut up a 12 by 12. I have some leftover stickers I saved to use for our cards. And of course, cut aparts and some pattern paper. So looking at this sketch, there are two things I look at. First is the 5.5 by 4.25 background, whether I like to have a pattern or if I want a solid. So I will do two different ones just to show you how to up it up with some pattern paper. So first one, I am going to pick a solid color cardstock for one of my card panels. So I put everything on a card panel and then I glue it onto a card just in case I mess up, I don't ruin a card base. So first one, I am cutting to 5.5 by 4.25. Okay, I'm just going to put that on my side here. And the nice thing about Color Vibe is I can pick solid or I can pick the dotted side. Next one is let's do a card that has a pattern. So I'm going to do two side by side, but because I'm cutting, I will do it at the same time. I am doing vertical cards right now. So here is 5.5, oops, to 4.25. I really like these presents. Okay. So here is 2 card bases. Now I have to look at this red piece over here. So it has to be wide. So let's start off with this one here. Now that we used a solid color, I want a pattern on it. So I am going to use this sheet over here and cut 4.25 wide. And then 2.25 in height. So I have the presents or I have the streamers. I like the presents because it pops off this card. Okay. For this one here, I am going to use the opposite side. So I'm doing pattern on top of pattern. I'm picking the B, let's say the B side. I like the white contrast with the bold yellow. So because I know it's 4.25 wide, I'm going to cut it to 2.25. Don't throw these out because these are good for embellishing. So that will go on this card. Now, next thing I have to look at is this green piece over here. So let's see what other patterns I have. So for this busy one here, because I have pattern on top of pattern, I am going to bring in that teal solid just so there's a pop of color. But for this one here, I'm going to pick another pattern. So I could do the streamers, but I'm in love with this paper over here. It has all the sentiments here. So I know I need it 4.5 wide. I'm just going to cut my 12 by 12 down. And then 1.5 wide. So just a little strip like this. So this is to the measurement that I made up for this card. But let's say you're using extra pieces of paper and you don't have enough. It will still look good. So this one I am purposely going to cut it at, let's say I don't have 1.5, I only have a 1-inch piece. Leftover piece, I'm going to use it. This is the same height as the card, which I don't want. I want it a little bit smaller. So let's cut it down to 4.5. Just so you have the hint of the pattern paper behind. So it still gives me a pop of color. Just like that. Okay. And now we have this little strip. So I'm going to use the sticker borders for both of them here, just to show you an alternate way. You could for sure use pattern paper, but I like to use some of the stickers on here. So let's attach this. So I know this has been our famous question this month, whether you use sketches or not. Since we've done our learning lives, has anyone taken a sketch and used it on a project? And if you know me, I like mass producing, and sketches are a great way to do that. And I will show you other ways on how to use your sketches to the max. So let me do this. So that is one down. So I always do panels and then I put it onto card bases. So here, and I'm just guesstimating at least 1/2 inch at the top. It doesn't matter how far down. I don't want it halfway down. I want a little peak of color from top and then a bigger portion at the bottom. I think this one I'll do solid just because the dots will add a little bit too much pattern. Oh, Joan, that is amazing. Oops. Okay, that's a little lopsided. Okay. So see how these are 2 different sizes? That's okay. So let's pick I have 2 stickers here. I think for this teal card, I am going to use this. Oh, it looks like a notebook pattern. And I am going to just take the whole sticker off and just add a little bit of dimension. I think this is just breaking up some of the colors. It doesn't have to be a pattern paper. It could just be a solid. It could be, something glittery. But I'm just using that over here. So that sticker, it just breaks up the 2 pages. This one here, I could use the same one. I think I'll use the same one because it does pop. And I'm just eyeballing it, just leaving a little bit on the left and right so it's not edge to edge. Like that. Okay, and now we need something to decorate. So we could use sticker, we could use cut aparts. The nice thing about this collection is that it had a 12 by 12 sheet that looks like this. There was a die that would cut these out, but the dies unfortunately are sold out. But I found that these were very easy to cut out, fuzzy cut. So that's what I did. I fuzzy cut macarons and a cake. With this cake was here, but they have candles. And I wanted to stick a candle here. So I don't like X-Acto knives. So I took my scissors and I poked a hole very gently. I'm not a X-Acto knife person. Yeah. Very strange for a crafter not to like X-Acto knives. And I just cut a little slit for me to slide my candle through. So I just need a little bit more. I found that if I stuck the candle at the back, it looked weird. So I cut that slit, and the candle is also part of this line. Yes, watch your finger. And I stuck this through the hole. Okay, because I'm on camera, my hands are not working with me. And then it looked more real that the candle was stuck into the cake. So for here, depending on how high you want that candle, I took a piece of, where? You just want a piece of tape, or if you know you're going to put foam, you can already put your foam piece there just to hold it in place. I like to use a little piece of washi or my best ever craft tape just to tape this down so it doesn't move. Okay, so now to determine, do we want the cake on this one or the cake on this one? I think the cake pops more on this side here. I am going to raise this with my favorite foam. And I do use lots of foam. I'm a foam girl. And I just need a tiny little strip for that candle. And unfortunately, the foam strip is too wide for this candle. So I just cut a little piece. And now to peel. Okay. What I love about making cards is using leftover paper, because sometimes after you do your layouts or your projects, you're left with these scraps, and I admit I'm a hoarder of paper. I love my paper. So I keep every square inch that I have, but it's a great way to use these scraps because, the next, oops. Oh, I did take it off because the next, paper line's going to come out and you're going to have more paper. So this is my element here. For this one on this side, I cut out one of the cut aparts from the kit. It was these presents, which I will put over here. Or should I change it up? I think I'm going to change it up. I'm going to use, it matches the background. So let me save my present. Let me use this big bouquet of balloons. Same idea. I am going to pop it up. Let's see. Should have. So adding my foam squares on these ones. And just throwing the backings in the garbage. And this one, I think I'm going to lift it up a little bit more. So these two decorative elements is this part over here, the center. So instead of putting another cardstock piece, I am using those decorative elements. Now for our sentiments. So in this one here, there's lots of sentiments. And what I did was I took my trimmer and I just cut them off. So there is let's celebrate, there's happy birthday. There is smaller sentiments that you can add on the cake. Or of course, there is also our stickers. Let's use these ones here. Let's do let's celebrate. And I am going to, let me just cut. We always need sentiments. And this one's great because a lot of these you could just use your trimmer and cut them out because they're nice strips. Oops, and of course, candid camera, the whole thing moves. A guillotine is the best thing to do these strips. So let's do that. Okay, let's try this one more time. I just need to cut a little smidge. And it's so delicate.
Darlene?
Yes?
You could always tape your sentiment down so it doesn't wiggle when you
that's right.
cut
Yes.
it.
Good idea. I should do that next. So there's a let's celebrate. Debating which card I want to put it out. And let's do a happy birthday one. So with happy birthday, because it has a little bit, I'm cutting this off screen, but I'm just going to cut this here. This happy birthday has two parts. There's this one here. So I do a lot of cutting like this by hand, and I call it whimsical. So when you hear me say it's a whimsical card, that's because Darlene freehanded that. And let's pick what color. I want something to pop here. I think that the dark blue might work better. Ooh, let's do green. Because I know someone that has a favorite color that is green. So let's use this green sentiment here. So this one here, because it is fancy, I am just going to do like a little bubble shadow around it. I didn't want it too straight. You could cut it in a straight and use it, but let's see how this looks. If I just went around it. So, sorry, I tend to do fuzzy cutting close to my eyeballs. So if you see my hands off screen, that's because it's really close to my face. So I'm just doing a little bit of a shadow cut here.
I think it's important for everyone to note too that Darlene is moving her paper and not her scissors. And that is a great tip for fussy cutting, that if you move the paper without moving your scissors, you'll have a little bit more control.
And you don't get those sharp edges. So my scissors are in one place, and then I'm just moving this paper around. Yeah. There's a lot of us that love to fuzzy cut in this team. So we always joke with Sherry that, because, she doesn't like to fuzzy cut, that we will do it for her. So here, I think I like it on the cake because it does pop. So I think happy birthday will go on that one. This one here, we could always put it on the side, but I feel like because it's so white, let's back it up with something. So I am going to take my pear cardstock and I'm going to cheat. I'm actually going to stick this on and then put it through my trimmer. Oops. And cut it out. So I am putting it through my trimmer. And eyeballing. There. So just a little strip so it pops. I feel like it was just too starking white there. And happy birthday. So of course, let's pop these babies up. Because I love dimension. So let's put birthday here. And let's add a small piece on happy. Okay. Put happy right over here. Okay. And this one here, I am going to, this one needs a double pop. 2 strips. And I love how they tear. And this one I am going to put here. Okay, so 2 cards here. We could leave it just like that because that was exactly like my sketch. But I love my bling. So I picked out colors that would match these collections. So Pink Fresh has these 2 here called Leaf and Amber. And I've already poured some in my little bowl here that we're going to bling it up because I like bling. And what I like about these gems, they're flat on one side, so they're very easy to pick up. So I'm just putting 3s using my tool. Let's do green on this one because I really like the green. And I am going to pick those up. There are 4 different sizes in this set. Whoops, that's a little bit too much glue. Oh, lost my train of thought. Oh, there's four different sizes of gems. So I just pick 3. I like to use random 3 different sizes. And I like things in 3. So let's use this one and this one. Whoops. And where's my big one? I love these. So look how that card turned a little bit different just because of the bling. And then once my glue dries, you can attach it to your card. And there's 1 card done. Let me just put that aside to dry. This one here, let's use, we can even do a trio of colors. I like to put them diagonal from each other. It's the way I just find easy for me, or I overthink things and then I never decorate. So let's add a green one just for, whoops, is there a green one? Pop of color. And then, so here I always do diagonal in 3s. So this side I'll put 2 greens and 1 amber. So green. Let's use a small one. And let's use, do I have a big amber? Yes, I do. So, and here is another one. Okay, so I did 2 cards using this sketch over here. But now, the way I see these sketches is that you don't have to keep them in this direction. So what I did here was, oops, I touched a gem. It's on my finger. 1 second. Is I did, I'm talking math now as if I'm good at math. We're doing a symmetry. So basically the mirror image way. So here's right, but now everything is the opposite way. So that is 1 card, that's 2. But when I look at these cards is that you have more potential on ways to use these sketches. And as I told you before, I love to mass produce. So here I have 1 type of card. Using the same one, I did the mirror image. Now I flipped it. I took this card and I flipped it upside down. So now my red is at the bottom And these are still at the same locations, but all just shifted downwards. So that's card number 3. And I did the same thing on this side. I flipped it, so mirror image symmetry the other way. And again, so now you have 4 cards. And these are all vertical cards. But I don't stop there. So when I'm making cards and I am bored of these 4 vertical ones, you turn them to the sides. So remember how we created vertical cards? Now, if you turn these to the sides and you have them upside down, you have created another 4 cards, but now they are horizontal. So 4 plus 4, that's 8 different designs of cards. So I did 2 vertical cards. Let me show you one card that is horizontal, just to show you how I would do something similar using the same technique. So you could do it this way, or you could do, let's see if I have one, a horizontal card using the same format. So long, and then the big stripe, and then the skinny. So there's that option too, or you change it up this way. So here is one where I took this card and I basically changed all my measurements to have the same looking format. But I wanted to show you how to create a card that looks like that. So that's already 8 different designs. So let's do this one because I have lots of pattern paper and I think I am in good time. And I don't know about you, but this here was screaming at me, says, use me, because yeah. With this card, I am going to show you how to elevate it by a notch. So I am going to use a nice foil paper as my panel. I just want to make sure it is 5.5. Okay. And don't throw out your scraps. I'm a sucker for scraps because you'll probably see me bring that back in later. Okay. But something like this is too flashy for me. So I am going to cut a piece and layer it on top. So I know that base is 5.5 by 4.25. Let me just cut this piece smaller so I don't cut the cut parts, because the drink page is nice. So let me cut this down. So when I have to do layers, similar to when you're matting photos and stuff like that, I just either go 1/8 down or 1/4 down on each side, depending on how much gap that you want to see. I usually go 1/8 on each side. So if I know my card is 4.25 wide, I am going down to 4 inches. That will give me 1/8 on each side. And then I know it's 5.5 in length, in height. So I am going down to 5.25.
Weren't you going to do it sideways, Darlene?
Oh, yeah. Thanks for the reminder. Okay, I guess I will show that later. Now I have to change my paper. Thanks for the reminder. Okay, well, let's see. We have lots of paper here.
Sorry, I didn't catch you sooner.
It's okay. You know, it's, as we say, it's just paper, right? Well, let's see. I have the macarons. I have the words. I have cake. What else do I have here? Let's do, actually, I haven't used this paper, so let's do this one here. So once again, we're doing a horizontal. So I have to turn it. This should be 4 inches. Good catch. I will use that, drink page, and I will post it because, it's already cut. So 5.5, I'm going to 5.25. That should be nice now. It gives me 1/8 all the way around. So that way that foil, there's a hint of it, but not too much. I need a strip. So I am going to, should I foil everything or just do, I think I'm going to foil everything just to keep it consistent. So I am doing this red part now. So I need to make sure I cut this to the right size. How big is this? This is 4.25 exact. So let's do 2.25. I love these foils. It cut cuts like butter. And now we need another paper. Trying to see what would look good. So I love this, but because they're both both white backgrounds, I'm going to avoid it. I wanted a little bit of contrast. I have cake paper. I have present paper. Let's use the stripes. And let's see, should we do vertical stripes or horizontal stripes? I think the vertical gives it a little pizzazz here. So we know I had 4 1/4. We want to go 1/8 on each side, so that's 4 inches. It's all math. Math is not my strong suit, so that's why I didn't stay with 1/16 of an inch, because we would be here all night trying to figure that out. So 2 1/4, I need to go down to 2. We're just putting 1/8 on each side. So there's that. That goes on this side. Now, what am I missing? Oops. Yeah, that's right. So it's blue to blue. I need my green. Should we go? Trying to see what pattern.
What if you go with the pear paper?
Ooh, that's a good choice. Just so not too much pattern. Should I do another matting of foil, or should I leave the foil out? The choices. I think I need the foil or it will look weird. Let's try. We can always change it up. Let me see. I don't have enough on that one. Ooh. Because I need 4 1/2 by 1 1/2. So let's cut 1 1/2 here. So these foils are already cut to approximate card base size. So I have to trim in different ways to get the size that I want. These foil paper is approximately 4 1/4 by, it's 4 1/4 by 6. They are the ones that Deanna's using for her card class, and I love them because they're perfect size and beautiful colors. So here is the blue. Ooh, look at that pear color and that green. Ooh, beautiful. And now let's do math. So 1 1/2, I need 1 1/4. And 4 1/2 means 4 1/4, right? Yeah, 4 1/4. I should have done all the calculations. So that should give me a nice mat right in the middle, which goes here. And then I need a strip. A little strip of something. There was yellow. I saw a paper. Oh, here. It's on the back side of these cut aparts. And I only need a small strip. I'm going to just use this square because these other 2 squares, I could use it as cards. So this is when I pick and choose which cut aparts I won't be using. So this one I most likely won't. So now I can use this here. And I'm taking a random size because this is a 4 by 4. And I know that strip was 1/2. So let's do 1/4. A very small hint. And I think, I had the right size right over here. Okay, let's glue this all together and see what it looks like. Because I like bling. And my macarons. So when I do cards like this, I already cut all my paper to size, and then I'll just sit in front of the TV and just stick. And then I'll finish a bunch of cards, because having young ones, oh my goodness, the amount of birthday parties. This is longer than I need, so I have to cut this down.
I think that one goes horizontal, Darlene.
Thank you. You can tell it's been a day. And this one is my red piece. Oh.
Everyone has to remember that Tuesday is our Monday, so sometimes Mondays are a bit like Mondays.
Right? So I'm keeping these flat, but you could for sure raise them up, and if you like the dimension. But I do it flat for mailing purposes. This one I am going to do here. Ooh, I like that pop. Oh, and this one here. This one I'm going to actually use glue for this tiny strip. And that paper. So this is supposed to overlap just a little bit on top. And now we gotta find, so that one just overlaps. I like that pop of blue. Okay, so now we can think of something that we want to use. So I have that present that I cut off, but I find that the colors blend in, but I think this tag is pretty cute. I am going to use the tag as is. I think if I put any more foil, it's going to be too much. And I am going to, I could add something here, like a cake and a present. So let's add the tag here first. I need to raise it all up. I need some pop. I went to my roll of foam now. Just because it's a bigger piece and okay. So let's do, whoops, here. I think I'm trying to decide, do I want it on this side and put an icon here? No. So the reason I'm putting it on this side, you know what? Let's go a little bit of a jaunty angle. Learned that jaunty angle from Sherry. I did fuzzy cut some of the macarons from that sheet of paper. I did 5 in different colors. And I am going to do a little stack here. Actually, I should have done 6, but I don't. Actually, I might have to use only 3. Because I don't think it's like playing here. Okay, so I think I will have it here, but there's this empty space here. So what do I want to put? Let's put happy birthday to you. I'm using my stickers, and I am going, they have time to celebrate you. I am going to cut this down because I'm a person that doesn't use things the way it's supposed to be used. So I'm cutting this phrase here. And need the bling right there. I will bling it up after, but let's add our macarons. Because then it matches the paper. It relates. And one more. There. And then, of course, you could put gems, but based on time, I wanted to show you some of the other samples I have. But here is using the sketch horizontally. So you could change it up and use it. Here is using this sketch as is. right? And I showed you that if you flip your images, you will get other designs and come up with 8 more different layouts. Okay, so this is using the Birthday Sparkle set. And if I can just look for myself. So here are some other examples of using the sketch with other collections. Oh, and sorry, here was another one using the cut apart from Birthday Collections and blinging it up. So let's put that aside. And we will for sure take pictures and show you. I know one of the things people wanted was sympathy cards. So here is Photo Plays in Loving Memory. Simple cards. Oh, my macarons are there. But just to show you using a cut apart, this was also cut apart, a fuzzy cut, a sticker, using those sticker those sticker banners. This one here, I flipped it. So this is basically the mirror image downwards. That's why the bigger pieces are here. So here are some sympathy versions of using that sketch. And then I love Winnie the Pooh. So here is just a sample of what it looks like using the Pooh paper. Right? So here I did the symmetry, so the mirror image. So the strip is on the right-hand side, showing you different ways. See over here how it's smaller using leftover pieces. So it still works. So measurement is not crucial. It makes it work. So here is my Pooh Bear. Okay, and okay, I had to play with Kaleidoscope because, 49 market. So same sketch, same idea. Here is Kaleidoscope. Sorry, running out of table room here. But just to give you ideas, using their chipboards, using the ephemera as decorative elements. But if you look underneath everything, you'll see the paper. The structure of this sketch is shown in any of the 8 ways that I showed you using this one sketch. Just love how you can layer it, use rub-ons, hide it on. So those are my cards. But I did not forget my friends that are scrapbookers or traveler's notebook, because these sketches can be used in any way. So let me find it because it's hidden on our shipping table. And I will explain some things as I go along. So I just did a 1-pager for our traveler's notebook. Same idea. So let's say this is the card base. Here is that long strip. And then I have a narrow strip that goes down. And that little skinny strip is over here. So for this one, I did the sentiment embellishment as my photo. So that's my focal point. And then I embellished, right? So using all your embellishments. So that is using this sketch on a traveler's notebook. Really hard to see it, but if you look underneath this photo, you'll see that all the same pieces, like the cards, are there. So for my layout, I need to shove everything to the side because I need a bigger table space. Okay, so for the layout, I started with the one side, right? So pretend this is your card base, so it's a 12 by 12. I have the one strip, I have the long vertical strip, and then I have the skinny strip. So same idea.
Darlene?
Yeah.
Sorry, can you scooch it down towards you? There you go. Perfect.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. So same ideas there. You get all the strips there. And then instead of having one photo, I just put 2 6x4 photos just beside it. So the sketch still comes into play, but instead of one central one, I did 2. And, this is a single page, and I didn't forget those that love double pages. So here is the other side. And what I did was I took this and did the mirror image. So remember, we had this one here, and I showed you that if you do a mirror image, you get the look. So same idea, but I did a mirror image flip. So my big strip is at the bottom, this long strip is still on the right hand side, and then this strip. So basically, very similar. This one becomes a flip and then another flip. I don't even know what that's called, but there must be a word. And then on this page, I decided to do 3 photos. And of course, all the embellishments and stuff like that. So after doing this layout, I wanted to show you that you could do 2 separate ones. It's still the same paper line, but I was thinking I have twins and one's a girl, one's a boy. So I was thinking their layouts for their birthday. So I started with my girl, Chelsea. Same idea. You still see the big strip here, the thin strip, and the vertical strip. For instead of this one, I did 3 photos, right? So using that same sketch, and then I embellished. And with Camden, which is the twin brother, I did the mirror image for this one using the same line, but I used the boy paper. So this is the girl's line, the boy's line. I used the same paper so it would be cohesive on both pages. I used the same green strip here because the colors worked. The only thing I changed was the base page as well as that vertical strip, and of course the stickers. Also the matting, I picked out different papers that correspond to the lines, but just to show you that's using the same card sketch on a layout. So I hope you enjoyed all that. I know I went through really, really fast, but I really want to show you that a card sketch or a scrapbook sketch can be used in several ways. And I love using sketches. I love using it for inspiration or when I'm stumped.
I think that was really key that you showed that it's not one sketch, it's really 4, and it's not even 4, it's really 8. Gives you lots and lots of options. And if you're not feeling it one way, then just turn it the other way.
Exactly. That's there. And that's it from me.
Thank you so much, Darlene. Thank you for these amazing projects. As Darlene mentioned, we will get these photographed. And I know I do still owe everyone photos from Alexis's live a couple weeks ago and Chris's live last week. It has just been super crazy, and we will get those all posted to inspire you all. And you know what? It's very easy to just go onto Pinterest or go onto Google and type in card sketches or layout sketches, and you will be amazed at all that you find. So if you are creating along with us or you find your own sketch, please don't forget to share with us. We absolutely love to see what you've been creating. Beyond that, tomorrow night is a special live. We are not doing what's new, but we are doing Ask Me Anything. And we have already gotten some really amazing questions. So I really look forward to chatting with you all tomorrow night at 7 o'clock right here on YouTube. And, you know, fingers crossed, we will also get it on Facebook. Hopefully our glitches from earlier tonight do not repeat. But when in doubt, if you cannot find us on Facebook, please do just hop over to YouTube. We do try to stream. Now my words are failing me. Stream simultaneously, and we don't want anybody to miss out. So join us tomorrow night at 7. Final reminder, we are closed in the store Friday and Saturday. We are taking the extra long weekend to spend with our families, and you never know what might show up in your inbox on Friday. So keep your eyeballs peeled for that. All right, Darlene, I think we've had a great day, and thank you again for all your creative ideas. And thank you all crafters for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye everyone.